And because of the cold, extreme cold, they have the same that we do. I personally asked President Putin not to fire on Kyiv and the cities and towns.
Vladimir Putin has agreed not to target the Ukrainian capital Kyiv and other towns for 1 week, Donald Trump announced on Thursday, as the region experiences cold temperatures.
And because of the cold, extreme cold, they have the same that we do. I personally asked President Putin not to fire on Kyiv and the cities and towns for a week during this. It's extraordinary. It's not just like cold, it's extraordinary cold, record-setting cold. Over there too, they're having the same. It's a big pile of bad weather, the worst. But it was they said they've never experienced cold like that. And I personally asked President Putin not to fire into Kyiv and the various towns for a week. And he agreed to do that, and I have to tell you, it was very nice. A lot of people said, don't waste the coal, you're not going to get that, and he did it, and we're very happy that they did it.
That's correct.
Because on top of everything else, that's not what they need, is missiles coming into their towns and cities. So I just thought I should say it. I thought it was a very good thing, and Ukraine was, almost they didn't believe it, but they were very happy about it, because they are struggling badly.
There was no immediate confirmation from the Kremlin that the Russian leader Putin had agreed to such a pause. But speaking at a cabinet meeting in the White House, Trump told reporters, "I personally asked President Putin not to fire on Kyiv and the cities and towns for a week during this extraordinary cold," adding that Putin has agreed to that. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov was asked earlier Thursday whether a mutual halt on strikes on energy facilities was being discussed between Russia and Ukraine, and he refused to comment on the issue. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky late Wednesday warned that Moscow was planning another large-scale barrage despite plans for further U.S.-brokered peace talks at the weekend. Kyiv, which has grappled with severe power shortages this winter, is forecast to enter a brutally cold stretch starting Friday that is expected to last into next week. Temperatures in some areas will drop to -30 C, the state emergency service warned.
This is CBNEWS. Subscribe to our channel for daily world news update. Stay tuned.
It's not clear when the agreement will begin, but Trump said, "A lot of people said, don't waste the call. You're not going to get that." And he did it, and we're very happy that they did it. Ukraine working with SpaceX to stop Russian drones using Starlink, says Kyiv. Ukraine is working with satellite firm SpaceX to stop Russian drones using Starlink to operate, the country's defense minister said on Thursday. Reports suggested that Starlinks had been found on Russian long-range UAVs in Ukraine, which are resistant to traditional signal jamming, allowing the military to manually fly drones into Ukrainian targets. "We are grateful to SpaceX President Gwynne Shotwell and personally to Elon Musk for the quick response and the start of work on resolving the situation," Ukraine's defense minister Mikhailo Fedorov wrote on Telegram. One of Donald Trump's senior envoys for Ukraine has sparked alarm after making a series of blunders during crucial peace talks, according to a report. The unnamed official is said to have made several comments that exposed a basic lack of knowledge about the war between Ukraine and Russia during trilateral peace talks in Abu Dhabi last week. The talks, set to continue this weekend, are the first between the three countries since Russia's full-scale invasion began in February 2022. But the comments have led to fears that inexperience and misunderstanding by U.S. officials could pose a risk to Kyiv. Among the incorrect statements allegedly made during the meetings are errors about how long the war has been going on, when it started, and whether or not the country has a vice president. General Kirilo Budanov is now their vice president. The official is reported to have said during a meeting with reporters, according to the Kyiv Independent. Ukraine does not have a vice president, and Budanov has recently been appointed as head of the president's office. Temperatures in Ukraine to hit -30°C as crops risk damage. Ukraine will be hit by extremely low temperatures at the beginning of next week, posing a threat to winter crops, according to emergency services and agricultural analysts. All regions except southern Ukraine will be affected by the freezing conditions between 1st of February to 4th of February. We consider the current cold spell to be extremely dangerous for winter crops across a significant part of Ukraine, analyst Barva Invest said on Telegram. Temperatures will plummet to -30°C after they dropped to -20°C in early January, easing to above zero figures this week. Russia not aware of U.S. guarantees agreed with Ukraine, says Lavrov. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has said that he does not know what security guarantees have been agreed between the U.S. and Ukraine, according to the country's state media. President Volodymyr Zelensky previously said that a security guarantee agreement was 100% ready, while Secretary of State Marco Rubio said that it was dependent on the surrender of the Donbas region. Ukraine is seeking guarantees that would ensure that Russia could not continue to expand into its territory or invade again. Russia and Ukraine carry out new exchange of war dead. Russia and Ukraine have carried out a new exchange of their war dead, allowing relatives of those killed to bury their loved ones. Russia handed over 1,000 Ukrainian soldiers, and Kyiv handed back the bodies of 38 Russian soldiers in return, according to Kremlin aide Vladimir Medinsky. Ukraine's Coordination Center for Prisoner Exchanges confirmed the exchange had taken place. The last exchange took place in October 2025, with both sides accusing each other of stalling new exchanges. Ukraine will not miss out on opportunities for peace, says Zelensky. Volodymyr Zelensky said, Ukraine will not miss out on any opportunity for peace or security guarantees, adding that the country is ready to make decisions. He said, "We are communicating with our partners, with the American side, about truly effective formats and truly necessary results. Ukraine is ready for meetings, Ukraine is ready for decisions, and we expect our partners to be able to act as effectively as possible, in Europe, in the United States, everywhere, exactly as required for a lasting peace." Trilateral peace talks are set to resume in Abu Dhabi this Sunday, following the first round of constructive talks over the weekend. Ukraine says it has received the bodies of 1,000 soldiers from Russia in the latest exchange of those killed in the war, as the nearly 4-year-old conflict continues to exact a heavy toll on both sides. Russia and Ukraine confirmed the exchange on Thursday, describing it as part of ongoing agreements reached earlier in the war to allow families to bury those killed on the battlefield. Kremlin aide Vladimir Medinsky said that, within the framework of the Istanbul agreements, the bodies of 1,000 dead Ukrainian soldiers have been transferred to Ukraine, adding that bodies of 38 dead Russian soldiers have been transferred to Russia. Ukraine's coordination headquarters for the treatment of prisoners of war confirmed the handover, saying in a statement that repatriation events took place today, as part of which 1,000 bodies were returned to Ukraine.
CB News, bringing you world news update. Thank you for watching.